All right, Merry Christmas, guys. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Here's the Jeep. It's been a long time. I did wow, it's probably been about a year. Did a 4.6 stroker on this one. This is actually my dad's Jeep. And I'll find some pictures and put them in here somewhere. And so kind of like a before and after. So he decided to do a complete restoration. You know what? Well, my brother was on his way up the mountains to do some repairs and stuff, and broke down. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna take this thing. And then, it's starting to get a little bit of green up in the foothills where I'm at. So I thought, you know what? Let me take 10 minutes, and then we'll do some driving, and just to kind of give you an idea of what this bad boy is capable of now. So this is an 89 YJ, and so then now we did a 4.6 stroker in it. So you take your 4 liter and you put your 4.2 crank in there, the 4 liter rods, 4.6 pistons, because they are different, because you got different stroke. And hey, look at that. You know what? I gave that to him as a Christmas present last year. And so there they are sitting there. It looks like it's meant to be. So this used to be a white Jeep. And the story is we bought this thing. Well, he bought this many, many years ago. I want to say like 12. It's been a long time. Bought it for $250 because the customer didn't want to fix it. He thought the motor shot. Well, he put a battery in it, did a couple tweaks and things like that, and started right up. So, hey, look at that. You know what? There's our company. Gotta, represent. So, yeah, red paint job. He decided to just go for it, and took the top and did a complete restoration on that. My neighbor does body work and all sorts of stuff, so then he kind of fixed the cracks and broken parts of the top. So that's the original top for it. Used to have a soft top, but hate it, so we took it out. And here's the inside. So red seat belts, all red on the inside. It's and then got a new Corbeau rear seat. We've had these seats for a long time. These are Corbeaus, and I like them. They're comfortable. It's a neoprene. They are getting a little older, so we've had these for, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years. So they're starting to pick a little bit up here. So we'll see how long they last. I always have to kind of put a towel here because it doesn't have enough lumbar support for me personally. But it's still kind of a work in progress. Few little finishing touches. Got a different steering wheel on here. Yeah, it just looks good. The red. I like the accents of the screws in there. And you know what? That gear shifter right there is something I made in college. I never went to college, but my manufacturing course, you know what? We learned some knurling. We learned how to use a taper attachment, and then the rounded on the end. That's CNC. That's the first time I used a CNC machine, and so I thought that was a kind of fun little project. Anyways, so the rims, not a huge fan, but the price was right. And the old ones just looked really, really bad. Still have them, but they looked really bad. And wheel flares, those look good. Some Quadratec side steps, those are nice. But let's get to the part that you guys really want to see. Oh, and also some LED headlights, really bright, smoked side markers. So everything's kind of like blacked out and red, so it gives, I just love the way it looks. My dad did all the work himself. He did the body work for the most part, and then let's be real, careful. Boom. So here's, so he did most of the work himself, body work, smoothing things out. And then my neighbor took the, because he's just really good, and kind of finished things off and then painted it. So then what happened was my dad said, "You need to paint the inside of the engine compartment to match." And I'm like, you should take the engine out to do that. Well, if we're taking the engine out, we might as well put a 4.6 in it, right? And so I talked about what we could do, and well, it didn't take long, and yep, got it. So here we are. It runs just fantastic. We balance the crankshaft, and you don't need to balance them. It's a straight 6. They're naturally balanced. But it does, every time I've taken a crankshaft in and said, "You don't need to balance it. No, just do it." They end up removing 20, 30 grams of material out of the crank. I just think the extra $200 or whatever it costs to balance that crank, it's worth it, because it is, it's going to make it just a little bit smoother. And the smoother the motor, the longer it lasts. So this thing, it just idles really nice. And so ported head, comp cams, that adds about 30 lift. I've got that in a past video of kind of what we put inside this motor, if all that information is correct, because my mind's foggy. It's been a year. And so comp cams, ported head, the valves are stock, valve train is stock, and forged pistons, 9.6 to 1 compression ratio, or is it 9.4, something like that. Can't remember on the top of my head. I'm doing a lot of motors right now that have 9.5 or so. So it's hard to remember which one. But yeah, so nothing crazy, but man, this thing, it cooks. It really does. So this is actually a radiator for a 2.4, little inline 4, and gives a little extra room, and we've never had an overheating issue. So if you're curious on if your 2.4 radiator can hold up, it will. As far as suspension or anything there, that's all stock. Didn't touch anything there. My dad is, there we go. My dad's thinking of someday putting a 4-link in the rear, 3-link in the front, make it ride nice. It'd be nice. A lot of work, expensive. As far as axles, actually, here's what we've got going on. It's got a Dana 35 in the rear, Dana 30 in the front, and but they're supers. So this used to have they used to be 27 splines, but they are 30 chrome ollies. And it's got an Eaton E-locker in there. So you could classify it as a 3530 super. So it should be just slightly under the strength of a Dana 44. And because Dana 44s are expensive. So I figured, you know what? The axles were in there before. They fit, they work. Let's build them up. And so this thing is very capable of some minor off-roading. Obviously, it looks too good to go trash it. So, but the little that it does on trails, it handles everything very well. So you know what? Let's shut up and stop talking, and let's drive this thing. Really nice and quiet. You get a little bit of piston slap on startup, but that's just common with a forged piston. Goes right away after about 5 seconds. So this has a 373 gear in it, I believe. And it's got the original 5-speed transmission. Is it AX, I think? It's the one before the NV 3500. So as I drive through the mountains here, it loves third gear when I'm pushing her. It loves to just stay in third gear. Fourth, you're gonna get a little low in the RPM, you lose your power, and you don't want to ping it because that ain't good for it. So I'm actually going to be making a U-turn because I'm going to be heading back down the mountain. I figured this hairpin would be a good place to do that. Put in first because, you know, filming and driving is a great idea. And someone thought, what a better place to put my old lawnmower bag. Just take care of it. It's too pretty up here to ruin it. But yeah, this thing rides really nice. It's smooth. He redid the interior, all of it. Let me switch gears. And so it's got some, suede on the top. It's all fuzzy. You get to draw shapes in it. Makes it quiet. So you can, honestly, originally you couldn't drive, put in third, you couldn't drive this thing 65 before because it was just so loud and rattly. But now this thing is so smooth. And I mean, I got the window open. I'm sure you can hear me just fine. But there's no shakes, no rattles. He just kind of gutted the whole thing and then redid everything, so all the rattles are gone. I just love it because when we bought this thing, it was a pile of junk. But fixed it up, California Jeep, so it's worth it. So here we go, hairpin. Gonna watch. Make sure I don't hit anyone. But let's get some driving in. But yeah, how bad this road is. It rides half decent and it doesn't rattle all that much. There's a few things that are sitting in the back that are rattling. You see it. It's pretty. It rides nice. Today's a nice day. But I'm going to put the phone down, and when I get down into the valley, I'll show you a 0 to 60 as good as I can with one hand. You know, I hate on California, but man, we got some of the prettiest winters and springs that you can have. I mean, look at this. And give it 2 months, it'll be even prettier than this. hate the state, hate the politics, but man, do I love living here. I love, ooh, squirrel. I wish one would jump out in front of me. I wish the politics would change and the people stay the same, because our community that we got here, we got a lot of nice people, and I love being here. Just wish a couple of things would change. So this road is called Boyd's Grade. Real steep. It's the kind of road you put it in second and let the engine take you down. But look at that valley as I go back down in it. Now I live in the Central Valley, so big farming communities, and that's who I do most of my work for, is people who grow that. So, and you know what? As we come to Christmas time, we see, why do we celebrate Christmas? I could understand if you're a non-Christian, Santa Claus, presents, but I believe in Jesus Christ and what he did for us, and so I celebrate Christmas as a reminder of Jesus coming to the world to save us from our sins. And nature is just an earthly representation of who God is, and you get to see his perfection and how beautiful it is. So, all right, let's do the best I can with one hand. In 3, 2, 1, go. In a Jeep, kind of scary, honestly, but it doesn't. It's that last I bet I could get it to 100. I don't know though. Originally this thing had a top speed of about 85. It was as fast as it would go. Well, now it's doing 97, no problem. I bet I could do 100. But yeah, and right now I'm doing a cruising of nice 60 miles an hour, 2,000 RPM with 373 gears. Really nice, comfortable ride. It's really chill. But yeah, this thing, it gets up and go. Let me get back to the house. I'll watch that video, figure out how many seconds that is. Unless you've already figured that out for yourself. Here is my turn. But yeah, it's quiet, smooth, and so before it was 85 miles an hour, we put the stroker in it, 100 no problem. The last 10 miles, from 90 to 100, that takes a long time, that takes every bit of power. But what I find is, with the camshaft I've got in here, with the porting that we did in the head, all of that adds up to 15 miles an hour extra. Doesn't sound incredible, but in all reality, 15 more miles an hour at that speed takes a lot of power to get there. When you figure a dragster, top fuel, does 330 miles an hour, which is only 3 times faster than this, roughly, a little bit more than that. but that takes 15,000 horsepower. So to get 15 miles an hour extra, that takes every bit of an extra 100 horsepower that we're getting out of this motor. But yeah, you know, 50 miles an hour right now, cruising a nice chill 1700 RPM. Really nice, comfortable drive. So when I get back, we'll do a little exhaust sound, see what you think. It's got stock exhaust in it, so if we opened it up a little bit, we could get probably a little bit more power out of it. But once we get back to the house, we'll do one more, a little walk around and final closing thoughts. But here you go. There's your little water bottle test. It's pretty smooth, a little shaky, but if, well, let's see here. That's at idle. So if we throttle, it smoothens out. But yeah, really nice and quiet. We got stainless header on it, and so this has got stock exhaust in it. So here you can hear the note. So not choppy at all. Sounds good. Leaf blower going on in the background. Oh. So, all in all on this, if you want, if you're an engine builder yourself, you can put a motor together. You need the machine work done. I'd say you could probably do this yourself for about $3,000-ish or so. Parts and machining. Me personally, when someone asks, hey, how much does it cost for you to put me together a 4.6? I say $5,500 should about cover it, and to put one together for you, assembled, ready to go. So there you go. There's a 4.6 stroker. It's been done for a while. A couple little things to do on the Jeep itself, but it's been going for a year now. It's been smooth. Love it. This thing loves to sit at 3,000 RPM. That's where it makes its good power. But it'll make power up until about 4, 4.5, and then 5 it kind of starts to die out. 3,500 is a pretty good shift speed. Likes to be there. So there it is. And again, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.